with an awkward question. What makes you special?
It's interesting, Eric, because I remember that being actually said, and not even asked, but it was a statement years and years ago, is that I have found that the success that I've had and the success of the people that I've surrounded myself with, for the most part, they haven't been so much special people. It's been a special effort surrounding themselves with just the right people. I, just barely finished high school. I got 1 year of college. But the urgency, the fear of loss that was in me, that was so ingrained in me 22 years ago, is that I guess if there was anything that was real special, it was just the effort. I just really, really, really worked hard. That was one. And number two was surrounding myself with the right people. And I guess those were the special people. And I did surround myself with certainly the right people. And I, just sort of further to that, it was something I had heard 22 years ago, and I realized it, is that for the longest time, I was spending too much time with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And, it's been said before, you can be a giant if you're a dwarf if you're standing on giant shoulders. So you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and you're one of them, my friend.
Oh, you're nice. So you talk about working really hard, and obviously I agree with you when you talk about the laws of association. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you get yourself around quality people, it's going to bring you in a quality direction. If you're in a not quality group of people, it's going to keep you in a bad situation. But I think just about everybody on this show says, you know what, I'd be willing to work hard. I'm ready to work hard, but work hard doing what?
Well, again, that was 22 years ago. I keep going back to not so much what happened to me, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, or 6 or 7 years ago. But it's interesting. I was doing the same things, and I do the same thing today as I did 20 years ago, 22 years ago when I got involved in the industry for the first time. And it was the fundamentals. It was the true basics, the fundamentals of the business. Now, you and I did talk about this. The fundamentals are still the same as they were when we got started 22 years ago. What has changed is the resources and the tools around us.
Well,
and
before we get to the change of the resources and tools,
sure.
What are the fundamentals in your opinion?
Well, there was 3 core characteristics that I looked at, and I asked that question when I first got started off in the industry, of the type of individual that would succeed. And it was burning desire, the work ethic, and the coachability and the teachability. I didn't really understand how much and how important the teachability and the coachability was, but I remember my coaches, my mentors, in my first 90 days saying, Dan, when I was trying to reinvent the wheel, they say, go through a mental enema. Rid yourself of all of that stuff that you've known from before. Take the skill sets that you may have, but rinse yourself of all the stuff that you learned in the traditional business. And I'd come from corporate. I had been in my own business for 2 years, and I had to just kind of rinse myself, go through this mental enema of all that stuff, and become very coachable and very teachable. So those 3 things were important.
Okay, before you go any farther, I just want to interrupt for 1 second. The reason why I'm smiling so much is I teach that today, and I learned that at the same time you learned it. The three characteristics: burning desire, willingness to work, and being coachable. And being huge. I just wanted to repeat that for people because you can't have 2 out of the 3 and succeed.
Correct.
You have to have all 3 in order to be able to get there. You can't have burning desire and willingness to work and you're not coachable, you're dead. Willingness to work and you're coachable, you don't have burning desire, you're dead.
Correct.
You've got to have all 3. So I'm
it's interesting because it's a training that I did way back then that was kind of taught to me. It's like spokes in a wheel. If you've got those 3 spokes of the wheel, they're kind of the foundations that you have. And you take one of them out, it's really going to affect the turning of your wheel.
We have tools and resources, and I do want to talk about that in the second half of the interview, or the second part of the interview, because how we use the tools and resources without losing the relationship aspect of our business, which is
absolutely
so critical. Some people get faked out and thinking that technology will replace the relationship aspect of our business. And the relationship's the thing that's kept us alive, keeps us going, keeps our organizations becoming vibrant and in real living things of substance is those relationships. All right, so back to the fundamentals. So you talked about the characteristics.
Right.
What are, you know, the fun when we say willing to work hard, we'll work hard doing what?
Okay, and this is how I've approached the business, and I do it with all my people. The three things that you want to focus on is simplicity, the basics, and duplication. The simplicity, don't complicate it, keep it simple. Basics, the fundamentals of the business, and I'm going to expand on that just in a second. And if you do those two things, and I talk about the mother of skill is repetition, doing it over and over and over again, the two core fundamentals that you have in your business that really all someone wants to be looking at, particularly when they're getting started, is two things.